Imagine waking up tomorrow to a $50 million jackpot. No more mortgages, no more credit card debt, just zero balances and an open road. We are wired to look at financial struggle as our primary obstacle, believing that a sufficient injection of cash into our lives would make every other problem disappear. But the data suggests otherwise. A high percentage of people who receive these windfalls end up losing everything. This chart projects a typical trajectory. It doesn't take decades for these winners to drain their accounts. It frequently happens in under 5 years. This raises a practical question. How is it possible to take tens of millions of dollars, money that could fund generations, and burn through it in less time than it takes to get a college degree? It is rarely a failure of financial literacy. Instead, the collapse happens when a change in a bank account moves faster than a person's sense of who they are. Human biology relies on homeostasis. If you get too hot, you sweat. Too cold, you shiver. Your brain is hardwired to maintain a safe, familiar baseline. Everyone has a financial thermostat, a calibration to a normal wealth level. We pull back when things are tight and splurge to return to our comfort zone. But a sudden windfall bypasses these adjustments. Wealth spikes past the limit, shattering our psychological defenses. The mind treats this sudden surplus as a systemic error that needs to be corrected. It prioritizes a return to familiarity over the objective benefits of the money. From the moment the check clears, the subconscious treats the wealth as a threat, working to eliminate it to restore the old order. Consider the winner. They may have spent decades identifying as working or middle class. They wake up in a mansion, but their internal world remains the same. They carry the same fears, insecurities, and emotional habits they had the day before. This illustrates the self-worth ceiling. Most people carry an invisible upper limit on the level of success they believe they deserve. Beneath their awareness, a monologue begins. They feel like imposters. They believe they were just lucky, expecting to lose it all eventually. The gap between the new wealth and the old self-belief creates a psychological friction that the mind cannot tolerate. When net worth exceeds self-worth, the subconscious will sabotage the external wealth until the two numbers match. We see the headlines: fleets of luxury cars, massive estates, and unstructured handouts to friends and family. To an observer, this looks like poor judgment. But the spending often has very little to do with the objects themselves. Reckless spending can act as an emotional sedative, a way to buy validation, to prove belonging, and to numb the imposter feeling. This cycle continues until the resources are exhausted and the new reality is dismantled. By losing the money, the internal tension is resolved. The winner feels safe again because they have returned to the world they understand. There is a rule in sustainable wealth. Money cannot create an identity. A resilient identity is what creates and maintains money. Cash alone does not provide the capacity to manage it. That requires the ability to delay gratification, execute long-term plans, and handle responsibility. These traits are not found on a lottery ticket. They are developed through a personal transformation. Sudden wealth acts as an amplifier. It magnifies who the person was before the windfall. A jackpot changes a bank account overnight, but lasting freedom belongs to those who do the work of transforming their identity to match it.